Humans of the cardboard! Welcome back to Just Nuts. We've got a ban list. I don't know what to expect. I really was not expecting one this soon. Regardless of what happens, I have to assume there's going to be some significant hits here to tier at least, and then maybe some of the other decks that are considered pretty good decks, hopefully, because it's so soon. Usually we're 3 months between each ban list, but this one is updated today, which is like barely 2 months from the last ban list we got, which means it's not quite an emergency ban list, but they were a little more incentivized to get a ban list out because obviously a lot of people are tired of Tearlament running the game. So let's see what we got. We know the big ones. Okay, starting off here. Whoa! Artifact Scythe. Wow. We've talked about this for like years. Is like, Konami, can you just hit Scythe? Because like we just know that like eventually there's going to be like any upcoming format, depending on what decks come out, depending on what's going on, like Scythe could just be a thing again. So okay, very cool. Ooh, and Bear Stature the Stormwind. Let's go. Okay, so Scythe just gone. That's really good just for the health of the future of the game. Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. Very, very nice. This is the only hit I really think even Flenders need at all. This is the card that pretty much makes their board stupid. Everything else is like, oh, M-Pen's a super beatable Floodgate. You know, the trap giving them an eruption is solid, and they still grind really well. Now I just think they're like a way more fair deck. They don't have the stupid Floodgatey shit going on. All right, let's keep going. Nothing else in the main deck monsters. Kitkallos is banned. This is huge. This takes a serious chunk out of the plays that Tearlament makes. They make Kitkallos very early in almost all of their combos, and it gets them a million advantage. This is going to make the deck way, way easier to play against because Kitkallos always felt like a card you have to do something to if it resolves. They're just going so far from that point, and now they don't have that point, which is huge. Moving on here. Wow! Wow! Spright Elf banned. I really did not see that coming. Wow. That's so huge. That's such a huge hit to Spright. This, like, kills the Toad combo. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I'm really thinking right now, like, I'm really, like, going through my brain and thinking, like, what can Spright do now? They have to be played with other engines now. Dang. That is a significant hit. They have to be combined with something like Live Twins or, I don't know, something like Tri-Brigade to have any sort of power. They're really, like, pure Spright, I don't think, like, plays anymore. Wow, that's huge. I thought we might see, like, Starter to 1, Jet to 1, small consistency hit. But wow, just really just axing Elf, which is also, I mean, Sprin's still around for tier to make use of Merly, but wow, that's actually huge. I mean, they can still use Sprin, send the Nimble package. They can still use Gigantic to just summon any 2 from deck. I don't know. I'm not sure where we go from there. Is there anything else? No power spells? No power spells, no power traps. I mean, you could have argued Instant Fusion, but if Kitkallos is banned, like, are we really that terrified of Instant? Also, I think this is huge that they made this so quick because with the introduction of Triple Tactics Thrust, plus the interaction with Instant Fusion was like too much. Tier was going to be way too good, and now it's going to be legal for like one weekend, I think, right? So, yeah, crazy. All right, moving on. All right, limited stuff. Agito. Okay, cool. I wanted to see pretty much as many of the Shizu fairies limited as possible. I don't really want to see them banned, but I just want to see the consistency of players being able to get to them limited as much as possible. So Agito to 1's a good start. Moving on. Kelvek and Keldo and oh wow, they really did it. Wow, they really did it. They really put all 4 to 1. That's so good. Oh my god. Wow, that's sweet. That is really sweet. Moving. Holy crap. They just destroyed him. They destroyed him. They said no one Havnus, one Merly, one Sharon. Wow. This ban list is insane. Wow, you could have argued that like just kit banned plus all the Ishizus to 1 was like solid, but also limiting every fusion name from the Tearlament main deck lineup as well. Holy crap. They really destroyed Tear. They really said we really don't want to follow in the OCG's footsteps where they think they do enough to Tear and it's still the best deck. They're really trying to kill it. Wow, okay. Ancient Fairy Dragon getting an errata, so this card's going to come off the ban list, I believe. So, okay, interesting. I talked about that. Anything else in the spell lineup? Nothing else in limited. Okay, all monsters. No spells and traps anywhere to be seen on here. Okay, semi-limited list. Are there any changes here? Nothing. And then I haven't been paying attention to what's not on the list anymore, so let's see what's coming off the list here. Ooh. Okay, Destrudo to 3. It was at 1. I think that's probably fine. Pay half your life points is pretty, decent cost. Drawing it in hand's not even as good. Usually you just want to send it for something else, so that's fine. Jet Synchron without ban, I think Jet Synchron's fine. Mecha Phantom Beast O-Line, same thing. Servant of Endymion is a super interesting one here. Huh. I really wonder... I wonder how much the Endymion engine holds up as far as pendulum engines go. I know we've had a couple of other pendulum engines come along, so very curious about that. Also, like as a Zephyr player myself, I've seen a lot of OCG lists that like play Endymion Zephyr, and that's like a pretty good engine to combine, so maybe that's something I'll look into. We'll see. True King Lithosagem was limited as well. I mean, it was searchable off of the field spell Dragonic Diagram, but now you just have 3 copies. I don't know what you actually want to play 3 copies of it in. It's a powerful card, but like still, whatever. Yatagarasu, for sure. Get it out of here. And then Spiral Resort. Taken off the list completely here. That's something interesting as well. I do think, though, if Master Plan is still banned, I'm not that worried about Spirals altogether. But Resort is still a really powerful card. Not once per turn either. We'll see if anything comes out of that. So no Orchist Harpor or anything like that. Nothing super crazy as far as the releases go, as far as, we had a big ban list that hit the best decks in the game. We hit Spright. We hit Tear amazingly. We hit Spright with the Elf hit, and we hit Flu with the Barrier Statue ban. So where do we go with this format? I think I'm kind of sitting here wondering how good Branded is. Branded seems kind of scary. Obviously, Kashtira is here, but they're not going to hit Kashtira for a little bit. But one point that I've seen from multiple, especially more competitive players, is this. If Kashtira is the best deck in the game, it's not the best deck in the game. It's one of those decks where it's kind of like Flu. It's why Flu could never actually be the best deck in the game, because it works so one particular way that when Tear is around, you have to be more scared of Tear, which means you can't play cards. There's not a ton of cards that overlap Tear and Flu, and so you end up being built more for Tear, more for Spright, and then a deck like Flu kind of capitalizes on that. Kashtira is kind of like that, has a Macrocosmos effect, but if everybody knows that Kashtira is the best deck, they play decks that don't care that much about Macrocosmos. They play decks that can play around the locking zones effect fairly well, and go from there. Very, very interesting, though. So Kashtira's got to be good. Branded seems scary. I still think Flu can play. It just doesn't have it's not as strong going first at all anymore. So that's definitely something to note. Spright, I don't want to say dead, but man, it's got to be Spright Live Twins, and really lean on the Live Twins. Use Spright strictly as a supporting engine there. And then, I think that's mostly it. I mean, we'll see. I think a lot of decks become a lot more playable here just because the power ceiling of the format just dropped significantly. We'll see. Very, very cool stuff. Very interesting developments. I am very excited to hear your guys' thoughts. What are you excited to play? What are you excited to mess around with? Do you like this ban list? I think it's exactly what we needed. We needed to hit Tear. I was worried all they would do is hit a couple main deck names and stuff like that, but they went through with it. They decimated the Ishizu lineup, they decimated Kit and the main deck lineup for Tear. I mean, it is what I wanted. I wanted Spright and Flu to see a little hit. I would have liked it if Branded Fusion had also been put to 1 on here, but beggars can't be choosers. I think all things considered, everything else on this ban list is looking pretty much exactly what we wanted to see. So we'll take it. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. Out of 10, I'm going to give it... I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. I thought more stuff could have come off the ban list, so that'll bring it down a point. I thought maybe they could have also threw branded fusion on there, so maybe like 1 or 2 things that I would have really liked to see end up on there. But other than that, it's kind of exactly what I wanted. Big tier hits, Spright hit. Maybe the Spright was bigger than I thought it should have been. And then a flu hit. Good stuff, man. All right, really cool. Excited to see where the format goes. Excited to test some decks, especially now knowing that like the format's not going to be like super high tier ceiling anymore. Really exciting. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.